Champions Cup first round continues, folks. La Rochelle hosting Leicester. I was tempted to watch Leinster's match against Harlequins to see Rico Ioane, my Blues man, see how he'd go, but I don't watch that much of the top 14 or Premiership sides in recent weeks, so I figured I'd check this game out. Leicester, not a full-strength side, and La Rochelle, people have been telling me they're not the team they once were. How would they go? Well, comfortable enough. 39 points to 20. Late consolation try from the Tigers brought the scoreline a wee bit tighter. La Rochelle were knocking on the door for large periods early before going out to a 10-0 lead. Leicester brought it back to 10 points apiece, but overall, La Rochelle a pretty good value for their win. Their set piece was good. Scrum especially was pretty dominant against the Tigers. And the Tigers' line-out kind of went to custard once Charlie Clare went off with a pretty bad head knock. But we'll go through some of the key events and the stats. You guys can let us know your thoughts on how this match went. La Rochelle were looking dangerous early. Saltini, and it was wet, to be fair. Pretty miserable weather, but good crowd up there. Saltini, big line break, big fend. They couldn't quite finish it off. There was another line break, and then Niniashvili couldn't quite find Farva out on the left wing, so missed chances. Aldreet looked to have scored the first try for La Rochelle after a huge 5-metre scrum. Looked like he'd scored that kind of classic number 8's try, peeling off the back and going over, but ruled to have knocked it on fairly. Fairly ruled by the TMO that he knocked it on, so multiple missed chances for La Rochelle. Ronan O'Gara would not have been a happy man, but there was basically, I don't know, another 5-10 minutes of pressure from La Rochelle, and finally, they did get the first score. It was Aldreet who got it. He was very busy on the ball carry today. It wasn't a really conventional score. It was just kind of a messy line-out as the Tigers were kind of more set for a drive from La Rochelle 5 metres out from their own line, but messy line-out ball. Aldreet's the man to first react, and he's able to go over for the first try from close range. Bust, I think, 1 tackle on the way over. So 5 points to 0. Ehire West missing a conversion. That brought back memories of his Blues days. I'm always really harsh on that guy's kicking because, geez, he was a good playmaker, a good ball runner, but his goal kicking's never been great, at least from when I used to see him back playing in Super Rugby. 5 points to 0. And then a yellow card for Leicester. George Pearson, who had a pretty good game, gets pinged for a foot up onto Niniashvili as he's gone for a high catch. That's one that's going to divide people, and especially La Rochelle fans, after apparently a similar incident last week, also resulting in cardage. These incidents divide people. Like Andy Good on commentary was incredulous that was being given as a card. I feel like it's going more like he's trying to balance himself out, personally. I don't feel like he's sticking his foot up to kick Niniashvili, but others will disagree. Either way, he gets himself yellow carded. Andy Good was going on about it in comms for the rest of the match. He's got enough self-awareness to know that he's going on about it, but not enough self-awareness to stop himself doing it. Andy Good. But either way, it's a yellow card to Pearson, and La Rochelle punished it pretty much immediately. Line-out attacking play, and then West, who wasn't kicking initially that well from the tee, put a really nice dinking kick through from his hands to Favre out on the left wing. Try time, unconverted, but 10 points to 0. La Rochelle, are they going to run away with it? But no, not really. Leicester actually, during the yellow card, had a couple of chances, and they'll be a bit disappointed not to have taken a couple of early ones. There was a potential dink through for Hassel Collins, which wasn't quite on the money. And then Joaquin Morrow was also held up not too long later. So, missed chances to score tries, but they did get 3 points during the yellow. So it was at least on the board and, killed a few seconds of that yellow card period from a Tigers perspective. And, that man Pearson, when he came back on, good player. I have seen him play enough times to know that he is a really, really dangerous ball carrier when he gets himself some space. They had been winning the territorial battle with the boot, Leicester, but it looked like they'd squandered any of that pressure. But, Pearson, a big line break from the back, beats multiple tacklers, and then he's able to find Morrow on the support line. So Morrow held up a few minutes earlier, gets the try, and now we're at 10 points apiece. I feel like La Rochelle had missed more chances, although, as I said, Leicester had missed some of their own. But yeah, we're properly game on in a game which is not supposed to be game on, given how much. I know La Rochelle got injuries, but how much Leicester kind of rotated their squad. Leicester did have another big defensive shift as we kind of drew into half time. But La Rochelle did have one more in them before the halftime whistle when Jagu went over. Kind of, it felt like it was at last. It had been coming. Quick ball, phases close range. Saltini, I think, and then Jagu powers over 17 points to 10. And then Andy Good got back. God, he was angry for some reason when Sclavi put a high tackle in on Pearson. I didn't think it was the worst high tackle in the world. The commentators thought it was kind of like a clothesline. I don't think it was a clothesline. It was a bit clumsy, a bit high. But yeah, I didn't think it was a yellow card. Like, I wouldn't have given the Pearson one as a yellow card personally for the kick balancing, whatever it was earlier, but I wouldn't have given that one as a yellow card either. Goody wanted a yellow card for that one because he thought, well, if Pearson's one was a yellow card earlier, then this one has to be a yellow card. But that's not how it works. They don't just go, well, you got yellow carded unfairly, so we're going to yellow card you. That's not how it works. Andy Good's like sitting with a guy in the pub who's just a bit one-eyed. I know he used to play for the Tigers, so he admitted that. Again, he's got enough self-awareness to know that. But yeah, no yellow card for Sclavi's high tackle on Pearson. But they did manage to kick a penalty, Leicester, so at least it's 17 points to 13 going into the sheds. I feel like La Rochelle would not be that happy with that scoreline because, like, the halftime stats, line breaks are 7-1. They've had more possession, they've had more territory, they've broken double the tackles, but they've coughed up double the ball. Like, turnovers conceded is 8-4. So yeah, it's still game on at halftime. But second half, more La Rochelle pressure. Moore gets advantage. Jagu goes over with a great drive, like a phase or two later. Really powerful from the La Rochelle forwards. 24 points to 13, and Will Hurd gets himself yellow carded for collapsing the maul. They had been conceding a few penalties and were under, the warning from the referee at the end of the first half. Then some errors, like Leicester kick it out on the full from the restart. Then Ihaya West kicks it dead, so it results in a scrum. That scrum wins another penalty. The scrum was good from La Rochelle. Certainly a big positive for them. End of the yellow card period, La Rochelle did opt for a three-pointer to at least get some points on the board to, I guess, punish the man advantage. So 27 points to 13. And then we got maybe the biggest cheer of the night, barring Ihaya West kicking goals after missing an early couple, when Uni Antonio came on. Big cheer for him after a long injury layoff. So good to see the big fella back. Leicester weren't done. Like, they had attacking chances, but their line-out honestly was pretty shocking after Charlie Clear went off. Unfortunately, tough conditions, but it's just like not even slightly askew. Very, very crooked lineouts. So led off from a La Rochelle perspective, and then as Leicester's lineout continued to struggle, Saltini managed to get a try on 72 minutes. Box kick over the top and a wicked bounce of the ball, but he's able to grab it. So 32 points to 13. And then they made it a quick fire double when Bolliger got one. Titcombe just dropped a straight high ball. It was a freebie, really. So 39 points to 13 on the board for La Rochelle. Consolation try at the death for Leicester. Will Ward got one. It's a nice line break to make it 39-20. So it's a bit of a scoring flurry at the death. But overall, La Rochelle, pretty good value for their win. Will Ronan O'Gara be really happy with that? No, he'll be pretty frustrated at some missed chances. And we'll see what Leicester can do once they rotate a squad back to more of a full-strength team next week. They had their moments in a game where they weren't predicted to do that much. Possession and territory still edge La Rochelle's way, although the territory kind of evened out by half-time. The line-out, by full-time, sorry. Line-out 89%, La Rochelle 72% for Leicester. It really struggled in the second half. Line breaks 10-3 to the La Rochelle lads, but they did miss a few too many tackles. Penalties conceded, 10 by La Rochelle, 15 by the Tigers, and 8 of those penalties are their props. big difference in that aspect of the game. Aldred had a huge number of carries, 19, beat 4 defenders. Bottia won a couple of key turnovers as well, made 10 tackles. Pearson, though, for the Tigers, 97 metres and 5 defenders beaten. He is a weapon. James Thompson on the flank for the Tigers, 14 tackles. So, yeah, predictable enough game, I guess, but still, as I said, kind of had its moments. Leicester will take on Leinster next week, which, along with Toulouse against Toulon, from a Kiwi perspective, is one of those ones that the names can be confusing because they're not quite the same, but they have some similarities in the spelling. And then La Rochelle will be away to the Stormers, so we'll see how they go on their trip to South Africa. You guys let us know your thoughts on the game. Subscribe to the channel. Might take the kids to the beach. It's a nice early summer's day here in NZ. Certainly better than the weather that I saw in La Rochelle, but it's winter up there. Anyway, you guys take care, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.